What's up, everybody? Well, I have a bit of explaining to do of why I have this yellow Malaysian monstrosity to bring to my channel for a full house cleaning. So what I have here is a Dyson DC07 all floors upright vacuum. Some of you long timers who've been with my channel since the first time I got started, this is the same yellow Dyson DC07 that was owned by my second grade teacher and that I made a video on back when I was just a freshman in high school. This is that same vacuum. And how I ended up with it is my teacher actually got a hold of me, and because she found out I started collecting vacuums, and she was giving this to me. And the reason why is because the front clear head assembly, at least this section right here, was actually broken off. And I don't know what happened to it. I don't know whether or not it took a nasty fall down the stairs, it was rammed into something, or something fell on top of it. Either way you look at it, but I actually have the photo of the damage right here, and I'll go ahead and cut away to show you that. So yeah, in order for that thing to be fully functional, it was going to either need a new cleaner head assembly or it wouldn't run again. And as much of a Dyson disliker that I am, well, I actually have to confess here, I don't dislike Dyson. In fact, I do believe that Dysons have their ups and downs, like all vacuums do. And one thing I do credit Dyson for is being the first vacuum of its kind to have the multi-cyclonic technology for no loss of suction, and also that the vacuums are very revolutionary for their time, and also that these older DC07s, as well as the DC14s, and even as newest, the DC33, of all the Dysons, are the ones that are more serviceable. And that says a lot, because when I got this, not only was the cleaner head damaged, and I bought a new one, which explains why it actually looks a little different compared to when I made the video when I was in high school. Because you can tell that this is definitely new, because the color of the plastic actually is a little bit different, and I didn't know a way to get around it, so I just went with this for the time being. I mean, this cleaner head assembly might have really been for a DC33 because it has the same dark gray plastic. So not only did I replace that when I got my hands on this, but I had also replaced the clutch assembly and the brush roll. As you can see, this is a generic replacement brush roll that has blue bristles. They are fairly stiff, but one of my interesting little remarks about this brush roll and the way the bristles are designed, they are sparse. I mean, you can see just how spread out the bristles are across the whole brush roll, and the bristles are not even dense. So it's pretty weird brush roll design for something like it. So also, one other thing that is wrong with this that kind of happened when I was reassembling the clutch is that when I put the clutch arm on, actually this little arm right here, there's normally a little tab that sticks out right here and that holds the clutch assembly right here so the brush roll doesn't turn on when the vacuum is in its upright position. That unfortunately broke off, so the arm now rotates the full degrees and the brush roll will spin. That's not a major deal to me. If anything, I could try and see if I can glue that piece back on. But for now, when you have the brush roll clutch turned on, the brush roll will constantly spin, and even when it's in its upright position. So that's not a major deal to me, but it's just you lose the feature of having the brush roll stand turned off when the vacuum is upright. Not a major deal, but so for now, this vacuum is here to make its big return to do a full house cleaning. Also wanted to see how this thing would work with a brand new brush roll installed. And all on top of that, I cleaned out the Cyclones as best as I could so it performs at its best. And also installed new filters as well. But after about 6 or 7 years, I am about to do a full house cleaning on this old Dyson DC07, all floors. Now, I already did one on my aunt's Dyson DC07 low reach. If you haven't heard of that model, that's the one that has the two-tone red and purple combo. Honestly, one of my favorite color schemes for these DC07s is the full kit. That's the purple and turquoise one. But enough of my yammering, so let's go ahead and get to full house cleaning. All right, so let's get started. As usual, let's go ahead and analyze the grooming results. I will say, for a brush roll that has pretty sparse and semi-stiff bristles, definitely has pretty good grooming action, I will tell you. And basically the grooming action for this DC07, I imagine, is the same for the DC14 as well as the DC33 because they have the same clutch brush roll design as this does. Very good grooming, although no appreciable agitation compared to some of the newer Dyson models. And I'm sure you could probably notice when I did this, there was some dirt getting picked up. So I will say, this isn't terrible. So let's go ahead and continue on. A little bit more gets picked up every time I use this. full house cleaning is all complete. And admittedly, even though this will not switch me over to Team Dyson anytime soon, and I know after the end of this video I'm probably going to get a lot of the Dyson hardcores coming in defending these machines by disliking my videos, which I definitely could tell they have by the times they disliked my video of the DC07 low reach and the DC14 animal, both that are owned by my aunt. But I will mention this: these older Dysons definitely are much nicer to use compared to the later ball models. I honestly think the ball Dysons are honestly overrated, because something that's as old as this, I do credit this for being more serviceable, and also I believe these older Dysons have better airflow compared to the ball models. But one drawback to this would be the brush roll. And I believe this brush roll does perform really good, even though, this is a brand new one. Even for having sparse bristles, I was honestly more impressed with it than I thought I would be, because look at all the dirt pickup. And even though the agitation on this, as well as the DC14 and the DC33s, although personally I've never tried out a DC33 but would love to, the brush rolls on them do not have as much agitation compared to the ball models or even the DC17 or DC28 air muscle models, because those have much stiffer bristles, and the bristles aren't as sparse compared to the ones on these. But they do groom pretty good for what they are. Now, I will say the airflow on these are actually a lot better than the newer models. And one thing I would like to point out, most people think these things are good because of their suction, but actually suction doesn't really make a good performing vacuum. Agitation and airflow tie into the mix. And for this, I honestly think the airflow definitely makes up for its performance compared to newer models. And also, even though the bristles may not agitate as much, it still does a pretty good job. But let's take a look and see how much exactly got picked up. Probably got a little bit more cleaning out to do, but even though this does pick up pretty fine dust, most of the stuff that's in this is mostly just little carpet fibers and a little bit of fine dust, maybe some pet hair here and there. But this honestly is pathetic what Dyson has become. And even though the newer models may pick up better, and partially because of that, it's because it has a more aggressive brush roll, it may be a better performer, but I just feel the new models are overrated compared to these older models. These are much more memorable machines, and they're definitely very reliable and very serviceable. I've actually seen a lot of these old DC07s as well as the DC14s still being in use, because they just outlast even their successors. So I will say I honestly like the DC07s a little bit better, even this being the first model that ever hit the United States. But although not a terrible vacuum, still better than what Dyson makes today. Well, I hope you enjoyed this full house cleaning and small little update video of the Dyson DC07 all floors. Be sure and stay tuned, and don't forget to like, rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.